I'll tell you about the features of our tool that make it a lot quicker and more professional. Is watch a quick little 1 minute overview.
TradePending's video solution makes it ridiculously simple to record, send, measure, and humanize your messages to build rapport with your customers, making more sales and better relationships. Here's why dealers love video for sales. Customer response rates and engagement go through the roof when sales teams follow up with video. The product is reliable and simple to use, requiring no editing skills, and the activity syncs to your CRM. Your team gets notified when customers engage with your videos, so you know exactly when to follow up. It's these reasons, and many more, that TradePending's Video for Sales is becoming the new standard for customer communication in automotive.
You're going to find out pretty quickly that our tool is very easy to use. It is only going to take you a few minutes to make a video from start to finish, but your customers don't know how easy we make it for you. And when they get a video that you have made for them, they're impressed right from the very beginning. I have on the screen here an example of that. I actually had one salesperson by himself in a training session, and I was looking at some of his videos, and I happened to run across this conversation between him and another customer. I have blocked out the identifying information because it is a real customer and his of ours and his real customer. But as you can see, he sent her a video. And so this is kind of above this, there is a thumbnail, and then there's a text message with a link to the video in it.
Have any time frame on like how long is the video? Like 30 seconds, 60 second has to be, or does not exist in this? But
Your ideal video length is going to be 90 seconds to 2 minutes, but you do have up to 3 minutes to make a video. That is what is standard for what we set. Some dealerships do request a different time length or allowance. We can go as much as 5 or 10 minutes if you want, or as little as 90 seconds if they want you to be limited to that. But as a general rule, we do it's 3 minutes is what you have.
90 seconds is good actually.
Yes. Um, and so right here you can see he sent her the video and she replied, "Wow, a whole video? Y'all do it all." That shows you how impressive it is right from the very beginning. With video, well, let's back up a minute. When you are communicating with customers the way you do today, through a phone call or text based like text or email, you have to rely on just your words to put a picture in that customer's head. But video takes it to the next level and provides a visual aid so that customer can see exactly what you're talking about. Furthermore, with video, you have the opportunity to let your personality shine through that screen. And guys, we know that people buy from people that they like. So this is your opportunity to win them over in a video with your personality. When they can see exactly what you're talking about, they know you're being honest with them. And so that builds their trust in you as a professional and as the best professional to help them find their next vehicle. It's really time efficient. We do have a lot of time saving features built into our app that I'm going to tell you about as we go along. But the main reason that you're going to love using video to communicate with your customers is because it's been proven that people who do get double the appointments and on average have a 20% higher close rate. That ultimately means you're going to be making more money. I'll show you an example of that in just a few moments. But even though it is so successful, not everybody's using it just yet. And so you're going to be more unique and memorable than your competitors and hopefully be top of mind when that customer gets ready to actually make their purchase. Our tool does also have tracking features in it so that if you're off for a day or you've been really busy and haven't had time to check all your text messages, you can go into our tool and using those tracking features, you can make sure that you haven't missed any interactions and that you're being responsive. Now, this is not the only training session that I offer. I do offer multiple training sessions throughout the week. I'll tell you about those and how you register for them a little later in the session. But the reason I mentioned that here is because today's session already has a lot of content. There's just not enough time for me to cover everything. So I cover those tracking features in a different session that you'll need to join if you want to learn about those. Now, let's get back to making money because I know that's important to everybody.
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I know I'm the only one talking. So for this app, I don't know if you already mentioned it or you're gonna be talking about. So we create our own password when we set up everything.
Yes, you do. You'll get an invitation
Yes.
and you will then use your whatever your professional email is as your username, and then you will make your own password.
Understood.
Mhm. Okay, so if you if you're like Terry Cowart and you're getting 870 leads a year, which is what he was doing, let's assume you're a pretty good salesperson. Maybe you've got a close rate somewhere around 40%. So if you do the math, that means that today, before you ever start using video to communicate with your customers, you're selling about 13 units a month. And if your average commission is about $300, that means that before Uncle Sam gets his hands on it, you're making about $3,900 a month. That's not a bad living at all. But like I said, once you do start using our tool, you'll experience on average a 20% increase in your close rate. So now, using those same numbers, instead of selling 13 units a month, you'd be selling 20. That puts you in the perk range that comes along with being a top sales professional. You'll definitely get some additional spiffs out of it, maybe even a demo car. But even still, your average commission would be increased based on those numbers by $2,100 a month. That's almost a whole nother salary. It's pretty cool because it's like you're giving yourself a raise and you don't even have to argue with your boss about it. As a matter of fact, your boss actually invested in this tool so you'd have that opportunity. So you want to take advantage of it. Now, right here, what I'll do is I'll give you an overview of the different features within our tool. I'll tell you what they're used for. And then when we get to the demonstration of our tool, I'll show you exactly how to use them. Excuse me. My throat got a little bit dry there. I apologize.
Fine.
So, if you're making a video with your phone, we've all done it. I would be willing to bet that you make that video in one continuous stream. And I bet that somewhere in that video, you probably captured something that you didn't really intend to be on that video and wasn't the reason why you were making that video in the first place. Same thing happens if you're doing a walk around. If you're trying to do a video and do a walk around of a car or a vehicle, you're going to catch some things that customer just doesn't want to see. Furthermore, if you're filming in a continuous stream, maybe you get to the end of it and you mess it up. Now you got to go back and trash that whole video and start the whole thing over from scratch. That can be very frustrating, especially if you got the first part kind of perfect and now you've got to go back and do it again and hope you get it just as good. So it's very frustrating and it also takes a lot of time if you have to do multiple takes. So instead, with our tool, you're going to want to make it your habit to film your video in sections. So let's say that you're doing a walk around of a vehicle. Maybe you'd start at the trunk of the car. Open the trunk, get it open, get your camera set just right, and then press record and talk about how many groceries or how much luggage will fit in that trunk. And then stop recording. Maybe the next thing that you want to show is that touch screen on the inside of the car. So go get in the car, get sat down. Again, put your camera, make sure you got it focused just right. When you're ready, press record again. Now, that clip will build on top of that trunk clip, but it cuts out all that middle part where you had to walk around the car and open the door and get sat down. It makes your transitions much smoother and more professional looking and lets the video focus on the main points of your video. Furthermore, maybe you're 4 clips in. You've showed the tires, you showed the paint job, you showed the trunk room, and you're on the fourth clip and you mess up. The good news is all you have to do is hit our retake or erase button, and that will only erase the last clip that you just did. All the other clips that you did before it will remain intact, and you don't have to go back and refilm those parts of your video. So, again, it's a very time saving and much more professional to film your video in sections.
Are we able to save those videos on our personal phone, or it stays only on the app?
Initially, it only stays on the app. It is not saved to your phone.
Yeah,
You do have the option to download it to your phone should
yeah,
you choose to.
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And if it's like the second section that you messed up instead of the last one, can you still go back to the second or third? No, only the
No.
last.
Well, you can go back to the second one, but let's say you're on clip 4, you would have to erase clip 4, 3, and 2.
Ah, okay.
Wow.
So you have to go back. So
Yeah,
just
you would have to. So you before you move on to the next clip, you
make
want to
sure.
make sure that you're happy with the one that you just did. You
Okay.
also cannot, excuse me, you also do not have the ability to watch it clip by clip. You can only watch the entire video when you're finished. So you just kind of have to have in your mind whether you're happy with that clip or not. You know if you messed up something, you know if you flubbed your words, you know
Right.
if you didn't have your video focused just right, those kinds of things. Now, we also have a thumbnail changer. You may not know what a thumbnail is, but just so you know, I'm not talking about this. A thumbnail is commonly what we refer to that picture that you see on a video before you press play. Okay. YouTube creators and people who make videos for a living know that that thumbnail picture is critical to getting people to watch their videos. So they'll actually spend a ton of time and money picking out just the right picture to use as their thumbnail picture. With our tool, you have the ability to do what the professionals do and pick the best shot from the video that you just made to
Wow,
use as your thumbnail picture.
that's good.
Okay. And imagine that you're scrolling through social media. These days, we all see a lot of videos go by. We certainly don't watch them all because who has time for that? But the thumbnail is one reason that we might tap on a video and watch it. The title is another reason. A catchy title will get somebody's attention. So, with our tool, you have the ability to uniquely title each video that you send to a customer. You can even use their name in the title so they know that video is made just for them.
With like templates?
No, we do not have templates. You do have to make your own titles.
Yeah, okay. Oh, no, because you said you could just include their name. I thought it's a template maybe, and you're just putting their name in. No,
No, no,
you
no, no. You can make your title include their name.
absolutely.
Hmm. Now, another feature that you're going to love is our stitch feature. With that, you have the ability to reuse content. Okay. So you don't have to make the same video over and over again. I know that there's something that you find yourself saying to customers all the time. Maybe it's directions to your dealership. Maybe it's what to bring to an appointment. Or maybe you just have that one popular vehicle out there on the lot that it seems like everybody wants information about. These are the examples of the types of videos that you could make one time. And in that one video, you want to get it as perfect as possible and don't mention a specific customer's name. And then save that video to your video library under a name that you'll remember. The next time that you have a customer that needs to see that thing or hear that information, you'll open up a new video and start recording just for that customer. Mention that customer by name, answer any specific questions that they might have, and then sprinkle in that pre recorded content. Another thing that you can do is you can add all of the details about a specific vehicle from your dealership's website along with your video when you send it. So the customer will not only have your video, but also the pictures from your website and the pricing information on that vehicle all in one place. Our videos do look very professional. They go out on a branded viewing page that has your dealership's logo and colors on there. So that customer's going to know exactly where that video came from, but more importantly, where they can find you. We also do have call to action buttons. So it's super easy. All that customer's got to do is tap the screen right from your video to call, text, or email you, or even make an appointment. I know that's a lot of features, and like I said, I'm going to show you exactly how to use them in just a few moments during our demonstration. But before we get to that demonstration, I want to make sure that I set you up for success with some best practices. First of all, a lot of people tend to ignore what's behind them. Make sure that your background is clean, there's no trash, and it's professional looking. It's always good that it shows that you're actually at the dealership too. That way, it kind of subconsciously plants in that customer's mind that you're going to be there as soon as they can get to you. I hear a lot of people say, I'm not comfortable talking to a camera. But let me remind you, you're not talking to a camera. You're talking to the customer who's going to see and watch your videos. And again, this is your opportunity to win them over. So when you're talking in these videos, be yourself. Talk to customers the same way that you would if they were right there with you. And don't forget to smile. As you're talking about each point, keep it short and sweet. Hit the highlights. Don't go into a lot of detail because thanks to TikTok, none of us really have the patience to watch a long video anymore. What we have found, as I mentioned earlier, is that 90 seconds to 2 minutes is going to be your ideal video length. Even if you're reusing content, it's important that you don't just send that generic video to the customer. This video can be a great opportunity to build relationships and rapport with your customers. So you always want to personalize that video by mentioning that customer's name and answering their specific questions, and then add in that pre-recorded content. At the end of each video, you want to make sure that you point out the call to action buttons and encourage the customer to use those to take the next steps in the sales cycle. Don't give out your personal cell phone number in a video. First of all, it's a lot easier for that customer to just tap the screen than it is to open up their phone app and try to remember that number that you rattled off. But secondly, and most importantly, the call to action buttons are what allow us to track the interactions that your customer has with that video and when they respond to you. And if they're using your cell phone number instead, you're going to lose that capability. The last one is very important. Please remember that video is meant to be a show and tell. Those of you who are camera shy will be very glad to know it is rare that you should be making a video that is just your face talking to the camera. Because let's be honest, if that's all you're going to do, you could probably make a phone call just as well. Video is meant to help that customer visualize better, understand better, and maybe even believe more. So you always want to focus the camera on something that is enhancing your message and what you want that customer to see. With that being said, we will now go into the demonstration of exactly how to make a video from start to finish. From this point, I will stop to ask questions at a couple of places, but if you have any questions, please hold those questions till we stop. Thank you guys, and here. If you have not downloaded our app, you can find it in your app store, whether that's Google or Apple. It is free. You can look for it by the name Trade Pending Video. You can identify it by the icon that you see on the far left bottom of my screen here. It's a white icon with an orange paper airplane on it. There are 3 ways that you may start a video. First of all, if you're sending the video to the initial lead, if we're integrated with your CRM, you'll be getting notifications that the customer is awaiting a video. You'll tap on that lead and it will take you in to make a video specifically for that lead. Secondly, you might want to send another video to a customer you've already sent 1 or 2 videos to. To do that, looking along the bottom of the screen here, you see some different tabs. The second tab from the left is the Customers tab. When you tap on that, it's going to list all of your most recent conversations. But if you're looking for a specific customer, you can simply type their name into the search bar. When you find the customer that you want to send this video to, tap on their name. That's going to show you a text message thread of all the interactions the 2 of you have already had. Down at the bottom of the screen, to the left of the new message field, you see an orange plus button. Clicking on that, your first option there is to record a video. Click on that, it will take you in to make a video for example, Miss Maria here. The third reason or way that you might start a video is if you're going to be making a generic video that you want to be able to reuse over and over. To do that, you'll simply tap on this big orange button here in the center of your home screen. Regardless of how you start the video, this is what you'll see when you get ready to make a video. There are a few things here that we need to talk about. In the top right corner, you see a gear icon. That's your settings. 3 settings we want to talk about is, first of all, video quality. That does default to high, but you want to go in here and change it to medium because these videos are sent to your customers via a link that they stream. Change it to medium to minimize the data that is needed to stream that video. Below that is your recording mode. This does default to self-edit. You've got 2 to choose from. It's totally up to you which one you use. Self-edit is where you would press and hold down the record button the entire time you're filming a clip and release it when you're done. The hands-free option allows you just to tap to start recording and tap to stop recording. Again, that's totally up to you. What is not optional is the recording orientation. The recording orientation defaults to square, which is also what we call portrait. It's where you're holding your phone upright in the position that it looks like this one is on the screen. But if you are the kind of person who prefers to hold your phone sideways with both hands while you're filming something, you absolutely must go in here and change the orientation to landscape. Our app does not auto adjust the screen when you turn your phone sideways if you don't change the orientation. So if you film the video this way without changing that orientation, This is what the video is going to look like to that customer, no matter how they turn their phone. So that's all the settings we want to talk about. Next to the settings button there, you see a plus button. That is where you would add in pre-recorded videos that you've already done, like that walk around video we talked about earlier. I will show you that in just a moment. At the left top of the screen, you see a red box with 180 in it. That's a 3-minute timer. You do have 3 minutes to make a video. Just remember that 90 seconds to 2 minutes is your sweet spot. Down at the bottom of the screen, in the middle there, the circle is, of course, your record button. To the left of that is a camera icon that will toggle your viewpoint from selfie view to front facing. To the left of that are 2 more icons. If you're filming in portrait mode, but you need to film a little bit more area, then tap that top icon with the screen with the arrows in it, and that will minimize your need to turn your phone sideways if you're already filming in landscape. Because one thing I forgot to note earlier is that you must film an entire video in the same orientation. You cannot change it for a single clip. Below that is a lightning bolt that will turn on your camera's flashlight if you're filming in dark conditions. With all that being said, let's talk about how we start a video. You're going to start a video the same way you'd start any conversation. Introduce yourself, say hi to the customer, tell them why you're reaching out to them today. So I'll turn my camera around to selfie view. I'll adjust my camera. Now, this is going to look like my timing is off. That is because my phone is streaming to the Zoom app. So my lips are kind of like a bad movie, right? But it is not that way in real life, and it won't be that way for you. So as I start this video, I will press record and I will say, "Hey, Miss Smith, I'm Amy Stewart at Trade Pending Auto. I got the information that you are looking for a monster truck. I've got one out here on the lot. Let's go look at it together." And that's it. That's my very first clip. Okay. As I said, you want to film in clips a couple of sentences at a time. Now, the next thing you would do, if you don't already have a pre-recorded video, is simply start showing this customer or telling this customer what you reached out to them for today, point by point, couple of sentences at a time. If at any point you mess up a clip that you've made, up there at the top right corner of the screen where the gear icon used to be, you now see a back arrow. That's the erase button. It will erase the clip that you just filmed and allow you to re-record it without destroying all the stuff you've already done. Just remember that you need to make sure that you're happy with a clip before you move forward, because you cannot jump a clip. For example, if I'm on clip 4, I can't erase clip 2. I can only erase the last clip that I just did. If I do have a pre-recorded video that I want to add in, I'll tap on that plus button at the top of the screen that I mentioned earlier. Every video that you film using our tool will be stored in the Trade Pending video library. Now, you can add a video. Let's say you've downloaded one from social media to your phone. You can add that from your device. But if you've made this video with the Trade Pending app, you've just got to remember what you titled that video. You'll tap on Trade Pending and start typing the first few letters of whatever the title of that video was. The video will come up. You'll tap on the one you want and it will be added in. That's it, guys. That's how easy it is to make a video and to add in pre-recorded material. At the end of this video, as I mentioned earlier, you do want to make sure that that customer knows that those call to action buttons are there. Point them out for them so that they will use them and you can keep up with your interactions. So you'll click the orange Done button at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and that will take you to the details screen. Right here at the top of this, you see a perfect example of what not to do on a thumbnail. If this customer knows me and they've met me before and they would recognize my face and they would be like, "Oh, that's my Amy over there at Trade Pending. Let me see what she's got to say." then it's perfectly fine for my face to be the thumbnail of this video, but not this one. I at least want to make sure it's a good picture of my face. Furthermore, if this is a new lead or somebody I've never met in person and they don't know what I look like, this is not Tinder. They are going to swipe left every time and they are not going to watch my video. I've got to change that picture to something that is more enticing to that customer. To do that, on top of the picture, you see a white icon that is a square with a pencil in it, down in that bottom right-hand corner. Tapping on that's going to take you into the video that you just made. You can watch it all the way through, or to save time, you can use your scroll button down at the bottom and scroll through until you find the best shot of that vehicle or maybe a standout feature. Once you found the picture you want to use, click confirm, and abracadabra, you will see that my thumbnail is now much better than it was. Below that, I also want to give this video a title that's going to encourage the customer to watch it. In this title, I want to let the customer know what the video is about and invite them to watch it. Now, I don't have coordination enough to type and talk all at the same time, so I'll just tell you that I would name this video something like Miss Smith, check out the monster truck at Trade Pending Auto. Next, we have to select a message type. This is important because of the call to action buttons. Every video will get 3 automatic call to actions. They'll get call, text, and email. Based on the video type that you select, though, they will get additional call to action buttons. Now, you're going to, when you tap on message type, you'll see multiple types of videos, but as sales professionals, you'll mostly be using the bottom 2. A respond to inquiry video is appropriate for anybody who is in the sales process but hasn't bought from you yet. Their extra call to action buttons might be something like value your trade or make an appointment. A thanks for your business video would be appropriate to someone who has already bought from you. And the extra call to action buttons that they might get would be something like leave us a review, or complete our survey. Once you've selected the video type, if this was a generic video that you want to be able to reuse, you're done. You can click the orange Save Video at the bottom of the screen and it will now be in your library. Just remember what you titled it. The next section is if you are going to be sending this to a customer. If you tapped on a lead or if you started this video from the customers tab, like I showed you how to do at the beginning, and we're integrated with your CRM, these name, email, and phone numbers will already be filled out for you. Otherwise, you'll have to manually input them. Just remember, if you have to manually input them, you want to make sure that you always put both the email and the phone number so that your video will go both ways, because you don't know this customer's preferred method of communication, and you want to double the chances that they'll see and watch your video. Also, at the beginning, I told you that we had the ability to tie in the website information about a vehicle in with the video when you send it. To do that, you'll tap on the vehicle field. You'll simply start typing in the first few digits of either the stock number or the VIN that this video is related to. Your inventory will come up. You'll tap on the vehicle you're looking for, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. If this is a generic video that doesn't have any customer details in it, guess what? Your co-workers at your location can also use this video, but you have to share it with others first. So to share it with your co-workers, click that box by Add to Shared. Once you're finished with all of these details, you just click Save and Send Video, and that orange paper airplane is going to show you that it's off and on its way to your customer. Super simple. I am going to take a breath here finally and ask if there are any questions. So now, I know it's not rocket science. It's actually pretty self-explanatory, but I also know that's a lot of information to cover in a short period of time. So I want to make sure there's nothing I need to clarify or explain further or anything before I show you a few other things that are good to know about our tool. I think everybody here does have a microphone, but if you don't and you have a question, you are more than welcome to use the chat to place your questions there. I do have the chat open and I'll be able to see them and answer them for you. That
What's the website again? The app. I'm sorry.
it's trade pending video.
But you need an invitation for the.
So trade pending video. You'll be able to find it that way.
Yeah, I think Mr. Nelson has an invitation. Okay.
All right, if there are no other questions, we'll go ahead. There are a few other things I want to show you. So right now I want to revisit the customers tab down at the bottom of the page like we did earlier. And I want to go back into Miss Maria because I want to show you what the customer sees when they get your video. They'll see these bottom two messages that you see here, that perfect thumbnail that you took the time to select, along with a text message with some information in it and a link. Tapping on either of those will take them in to watch your video on that branded viewing page with your dealership's logo and colors. There's your thumbnail again. Below that is the website information that we tied in through that vehicle field, as well as a little bit of information about that car. Below that are your call to action buttons that are so important that you point out. Below that is your contact information in case the customer wants to save it to their phone. And below that is a map to your dealership so they can jump right in the car and rush on over to see you before it's gone.
So I'm sorry, Amy.
Also down at the bottom of the page now, I want to. What's your question?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So when we click to call from this application, is that connected to the CRM at all? Like with the we have records of that. That's why we click to call.
It is in. I cover those tracking features. It's in your dashboard. If
No, I understand, but is it connected to the CRM at all or not?
those interactions, if we are integrated with your CRM, will be in your CRM. We can integrate with most CRMs, but it depends on the CRM that you have, whether we're integrated or not. And I don't have insight into an individual account. Oh, wait, you're with David. Yes, we are integrated with your CRM.
Oh, good. Great.
Yep.
That's it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Revisit that orange plus button next to the message field that we looked at earlier. Y'all, this is just like a text message thread on your phone. If you needed to just send a short, simple text message, you can absolutely do that. If you tap on that plus button, though, it's just like text messaging. There are a lot of options here. You're probably familiar with most of them. I'm not going to go through them all, but I am going to point out the third one from the bottom, which is AI Assist. I don't care how seasoned of a professional you are, there is probably at least one vehicle on your lot that you are just not an expert in. And let's assume you've gotten a customer who knows a lot about it, but they've got a really technical question and you just don't know the answer. All you have to do is go into AI Assist, type in their question, and literally instantly artificial intelligence will give you that answer. Just remember, artificial intelligence is, after all, artificial. You might want to edit it, make it sound more personal and like it came from you before you send that message. Below that, we also have the request review. If you tap on that, your customer will automatically get the text message that you see at the bottom of the screen here. It says leave us a review along with a link that goes directly to your dealership's review website, where they can easily leave you a 5-star review, talk about how awesome you are, and then post it to your dealership website. Highly recommend that you send that to each and every one of the customers who buy from you. The last thing I want to show you are the resources that you have available. Looking again along the bottom of the screen here, you see to the far right the More tab that has 3 dots above it. The second option down is our chat support. If you're ever in this app and you're having technical difficulties and need some help right away, that works just like any other chat support forum does. Simply tap on it, type in your issue, and a live trade pending professional will be there to help you momentarily. Below that is our help center. Looking at this screen, you see Success Academy, then you see currently viewing, and then you see 3 tabs below that. The My Training tab, if you tap on that after today, will show you that you've joined this session today. In a moment, I'm going to tell you about the other training opportunities we have available for you. To find those, click on the Training Events tab there in the middle. You'll see a calendar. You can tap on the day that you're available. Scroll down, it will show you the classes that we are offering that day. If you want to join one of those classes, simply click the View Details beside it. Scroll down until you see the Register button and just tap on it. You'll automatically be sent an invitation with a link. You'll also be sent reminders both an hour before and 15 minutes before the session begins.
From our device.
Finally, the third thing I want to show you is back up at the top next to the Training Events tab. To the right of it, you see Help Hub. This is a searchable library with all kinds of articles, information, videos, and FAQs related to using our products. If you are looking for something in specific, simply type a few keywords into the search bar there, and you'll get all the information that is related to what you are looking for. And as promised, the last thing I want to tell you about are the other training sessions that we do have. You now know how to register for them. Those tracking features that I mentioned earlier, I covered those in, the title has changed now. It's no longer the dashboard session. It's now called New Dealer Console. In that session, I do also show you a few things that you can do from the desktop version of our tool that you cannot do from the mobile app version. If you're looking for ideas on how to use video throughout the sales process, you need some creative examples and that kind of thing, then I've got 2 different sessions that you can join. The Leads Follow-Up and Appointment session focuses on how to use video in very specific types of circumstances that we all encounter during that sales process, all the way through it. Different types of CRM leads that you get, how you can make videos and use videos with customers who leave without buying, with phone ups after you've finished talking to them on the phone, and with people who ghost you. Even using video for like appointments and whatnot. So that's a great session to join. David always gets you guys at Greenway Ford. He always gets y'all registered. I will see you this afternoon. He does have y'all in that session. He requires you to attend that session. The after sale and loyalty session is focused on using video to keep up relationships with your customers after they buy from you so that they'll stay engaged with your dealership and with you, so that when they're ready to buy another car themselves or another family member, friend, neighbor, or coworker, you keep yourself top of mind and they always refer or come back to you. You can use things like the promotions and events that you've got going on at your dealership, as well as social media, and we give you ideas for all of that, along with showing you some example videos. Would love to see you in any of those future classes. With that, that concludes our content for today. If you are ready to get out of here and back to doing what you do best, all you have to do is click the Leave or End button, and that'll get you, that will end this session for you.